just have to dance to that a little bit. Oh yeah, some jazz hands. What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us for another EduLaunch book launch. Now, I'm so geeked tonight because this is my good friend Erin here. Erin, what is up? How you doing?
I am so excited. I'm so grateful. I'm so many emotions that I don't even know.
I hear you.
But thank you so much.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
Vince is there
you.
too.
Oh my goodness. I'm like super geeked about this just for so many reasons. Like I remember where I was the night that you pitched me the book, like in the car on a phone call with you. Like this had to be like 2019, right? And we were
Yep.
chatting and oh my gosh, and I'm just so over the moon, like so excited for you, so proud of you, so happy for you. And yeah, this is just awesome. So
Thank you. Yeah, no, I totally remember. I remember telling, actually, I remember telling Joelle and Ashley, I was like, so I pitched an idea and I'm like, less than 24 hours. I heard, like, I just went onto the EduLaunch site because I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, 24 hours later, I heard back and I'm like, they're like, we just need more information. I was like, oh, cool. That's great. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. It was a great idea then. It's a great idea now, like even more timely now, I would say. Like, yeah.
Sadly, yes.
Right.
Hi, Tara.
Yeah, all your peeps are showing up and
Yeah.
showing out tonight. That is so awesome.
I feel super grateful.
Oh,
Really
man.
honored.
Oh, we are honored and grateful to have you in our EduLaunch fam. And I know I can speak on behalf of our viewers to have you in our PLN, to know you, because you're just like a light that touches everybody.
Oh,
Yeah, we just appreciate you so much.
you're so sweet. Thank you.
Oh, so are you. So are you, my friend. Yes, indeed. So I'm sorry. I know I just made you cry, and now I'm about to ask you to introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know you. So I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so I'm to introduce myself. I could do this. I could do this without crying. Totally fine.
You got this.
Whew. Oh, yay. Books are going out. Okay, so my name is Erin. And I don't know, like I'm in education. Right now I work for Swivel, and I love it. It's fantastic. And it's kind of funny. Part of the reason I went to work for Swivel, a tech company, is part of the reason that I needed to write the book. I say write the book. I didn't write the book, but I collected for the book.
Yeah. You're the mastermind behind the book.
But I mean, not entirely, but
you're too humble.
But yeah, so I just, I've been in education for, I don't know, like 14, 15, however long you've been in education. We're like a month apart in life in general. And I've done like classroom teacher for like elementary, and I've done thanks, Tika. Sorry, I gotta focus. I'm scrolling all over the place, these comments. I've done like technology class for K-8. I've done private. I've done public. I've done a year in charter. I've done, I'm really proud. I got to say that I worked at Ohio State, which if you're a Michigan fan, like that's not great, but I'm an Ohio State fan. So that's a pretty big deal. And so, I feel super grateful for all of the different like experiences and spectrums and roles I've had in education, and all the different people that I've met through other people, and how I've gotten to grow my PLN and figure out what a PLN was. Because at one point I was like, what is that? So, and I just, right now we're in Florida. We have my husband and I have a 3-year-old. I have a not year old yet, that will be arriving on Monday. So thank you to Sarah for letting me launch before the baby launched.
2 launches in a week. Wow.
Yeah, right. And then I turned 40. So it's like 4 days, October. Let's just be done. Like this just It's fine.
I feel you. Very eventful time in your life. So,
so that's just a little randomness about me.
no, that is super awesome. Super awesome. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the very first question. So the very first question, so why did you write Balancing the EDU Life?
So it's really funny. Like, it didn't feel funny at the point where, we did these things, Dean. It feels funny now, like looking back. So essentially what had happened is my husband and I had a 1-year-old. We moved to Florida, and it was such a different life than I was familiar with. Just like professionally, commute wise, like the fact that we were coming from Las Vegas. I grew up in Las Vegas. Like, that's where my people were, right? That's my job. My everything was there. And we moved to Florida, and I was like, oh, I've done that before. It's fine. I didn't realize that I had done it before without a child and a husband. So it was kind of different. And so I felt like I was drowning, like driving like 3 hours a day, every day, like a daycare that I wasn't familiar with, that I just kind of was forced to be tolerating, not necessarily comfortable. And it was just like, I don't know what to do, like personally. I don't know what to do professionally. I can't find my way. And I'm like, I know that I'm not the only one in education who's ever gone through this. So I want to tell my story. Like, I want to tell this so that somebody else can kind of benefit through this. And through talking to like some friends, talking to Melody, I talked to Melody a lot about this. It was just like, I realized I'm like, I am one person that represents like this much of the educational community, when there are so many different voices. Because it started off thinking like, well, but what about dads? Because I'm a mom, but I can't think of the dad role. Well, what about the men who don't have kids? What about the women who don't have kids? And I mean, like, I started mentally drilling down to, what about people who have never taught in a private school? What about all of the different like cultural backgrounds? What about all of the different like ethnic backgrounds? Like, what about everybody else? Because I am one, and that is not enough. And so, so you and I worked through it, and it became this, from I want to tell my story to I want stories that people can identify with. Even if you can only identify with one story, it's potentially worth it to pick up the book and read that one story, so you don't feel like you're alone in a struggle.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that is powerful and so beautifully said. And I love just all of the dimensions of the book, like how you discussed, and it feels like there's something in there for everyone, and not just something in there for everyone, but you'll be able to like read this book time and time again throughout different stages in your life, and something different will hit like each time you read it. Like, I know I read it the first time, and then I read it like a year later, and it was like totally different. I'm like, whoa, so absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think it didn't originally, like, the original concept was not that, but I think that what it's grown into is what it needs to be.
It's beautiful. Yeah, totally. I hear you. All right, cool. So you have so many people in your book, like so many people. This might be an EduMatch record. Like, it could possibly be. It's in the running for it. But, yeah.
I think Rochelle's got me beat.
Okay, well, it's between you and Rochelle, but there are so many voices represented. So tell us more about that.
Well, I mean, I feel like we kind of covered some of it, but I will say, thanks, Sarah. I will say that, the very first time that we sat down, you know, and I was like, okay, like I've collected the number of stories. We've hit the due date, right? And that was that was even pushed back because of all the COVID stuff. And so, you know, you had the first editor, give it a read through, and she was being perfectly honest. She was very real in her feedback that the book would be better if we had more diverse voices. For example, more stories from Black teachers, more stories from Hispanic teachers, more stories from our LGBTQ community. Like, she's like, you need that. And I will say it hurt my feelings because I had tried so hard to do that and to have somebody say, like, or you didn't hit the mark. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't hit the mark. I knew I didn't hit the mark. Like, I already knew that. You didn't have to tell me. So I was really glad she did tell me, because what it did is it springboarded me to talk to you. And I said, what do I need to do? Do I have to be done because this is the date that we set, or can we keep trying? And you were like, it's really up to you. It's your book. Like, we can make this go however long. And that's all I needed. And I was like, great. I want more. Give me more time. I want more people. Right. And then I put out a call. I asked so many people, Sam Fessich, Melody, you, Heidi, I can't even remember who else connected me. Thank you. Connected me to so many more individuals, so many more stories. And I was just like, okay, like, we're going to do this. We're going to get some more. It's never going to be enough. Like, it's just never going to be enough. And I get that. But it was more, and it was better. And then riots, and then pregnant, and then, you know, more COVID and stuff like that. So then it got to the point where it was like, okay, we can't keep doing this. We have to just be done.
Right.
But that's, you know, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want people to read it and either recognize themselves or learn from it.
Yes.
Like, learn that somebody else has a different perspective, and that's not a wrong perspective because they are a different person. Like, that's not who we should be. Right. Especially not in education where we're impacting kids.
Exactly. Yes. And I think that was beautifully said. And you modeled something that's so crucially important. Just, you know, taking that feedback and using it to make something even more beautiful and something even better. Like, that's what life is, you know. When you get that feedback in life, whatever it is, then just being able to, you know, it might sting at first, but, you know, being able to just process it and saying, okay, you know, this resonates and let's go. So I love that you did that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I love that you supported me through it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was definitely an honor to watch this whole process unfold. And, you know, and it's crazy because I think that might have been a blessing, not a blessing in disguise, because it was obviously a blessing, but for many reasons, because with the timeline, like, the first date was before everything, the world exploded, you know?
Yeah.
With the pandemic, and now it's like you kind of have that perspective included as well. So yeah, so that is just, yes, absolutely. All right, so we're coming to that time of the show where we're about to let in our first guest. Our first guest is no stranger to the EduMatch family. He is amazing. We have here the amazing Dr. Dave Schmidau.
Yay!
Hey, how you doing?
Well, first of all, I'm totally humbled just listening to Erin's last answer. You slapped me across the face with that answer, so I appreciate that. That was good stuff. That was just really, really good. Just the reflection and the purposeful intention to listen to feedback and to balance your own perspective and balance the book. I mean, it's just so good on so many levels, Erin. You're amazing. So thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of it. Like, I'm super honored.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I don't ever miss a party. I don't ever miss hanging out with Sarah, and I don't ever miss hanging out with you. So yeah, no brainer.
Right? He even brought his Florida shirt.
Oh, see,
this is all I wear now, Erin. Come on, I am a transplant through and through.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. You really.
Are y'all neighbors now?
We're close enough. We can scream across the Gulf. You can hear me screaming every once in a while.
That is so dope. That is so dope. Well, Dave, if anyone does not know you, just if you could just introduce yourself to our viewers, please.
Yeah, well, I am, first of all, a Sarah and Erin groupie. I worship them, adore them, and love them. So that's who I am through and through. Aside from that, the other little details, and I think one of the reasons I'm here is because I struggle with all of the things that you guys are going to be talking about all night long and that this book resonates on. Balance. I'm a father of 4 kids. I have held multiple jobs in my more than 40 years. So don't go start complaining about turning 40 soon, because I'm well beyond that. I've really kind of literally done every single job in K-12 education and higher education. And now this is my backdrop on most days. I get to hang out and talk to amazing people like you and learn, read, and grow. So that's me in a nutshell.
It's a good nutshell. It's a great nutshell.
That is. It really is. Yeah, Dave. So what are your thoughts on hashtag juggle the struggle?
Oh my gosh. It's funny, the last week I posted something because I'm struggling with this. It was kind of tongue in cheek and irony, but it's totally what I think and what I feel on most days. So I'm just going to read it. It said, anyone else feel like solving every problem is always your responsibility? Then you feel overwhelmed and anxious because you're all alone out there doing it. Like, it's this constant struggle where you feel like you're the one that has to juggle everything. And yet things are falling all over the place. And then you feel super anxious because you chose to juggle everything. You don't want to reach out for help because you feel like you're supposed to do it all. And, I just gave you some of my bio, and I've got 4 kids. I'm out there trying to support my family. So I feel like I'm supposed to be doing that, but then I can't have time for my family. But then when I'm with my family, I can't be making money. Like, it's just this overwhelming feeling. And sometimes I just curl up in a fetal position, suck my thumb, and cry. And it's hard. The struggle is so real. I get it. And I don't have the answers other than every day is a new day. I try to start over and try to set a new priority every day. And I continue to try to grow every day. And this book is going to be an amazing reflective tool for me, like you said, Sarah, just to be able to pick it up and almost read it like it's my daily devotional. Just read it and reflect on the struggles everybody else has had and the wisdom everybody else has had, so I can continue to align my priorities daily.
Just switch out the thumbs.
There you go. Yeah, show them those people. Okay, well, awesome. Do you have any words for Erin tonight on her big night?
Erin, you are amazing. I think you exemplify this book more ways than you even know. Truly. I mean, having another baby on Monday, doing the launch of his book tonight, you're going to be doing a lot of these things over the next couple of days, weeks, months, years. I mean, you exemplify balance and purposeful priority setting, which I think goes hand in hand. You can't do it all. So the fact that you carve out these niches and say, I'm going to go all in on this while I can and maintain that focus, and then I'll pivot and adjust. You're killing it. I appreciate you. I adore you, and just keep doing the amazing work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for, the feedback and reading through it, and just, I guess, really validating. Because you have done a lot of this more than I have, longer than I have. But
you just hold on. Just because I'm older than you, you don't have to keep throwing that out there, Erin.
You started it. Started it.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't say that much longer. Just
okay.
A little bit longer. 6 months. Nothing.
Yeah, that's all.
5 minutes,
5 minutes. There we go. That's it. Like a minute, hot minute. I so appreciate you and the how you validate what I've done right now, but I also follow you. And as sarcastic as I am with you, because you're from Michigan, I still see and I hear what you're saying, and it resonates with me and so many other people. And so I'm just so grateful to know you and have you here with us tonight. So thank you very much.
You got it. I'm on your team throughout. So keep doing amazing things, Erin, and I've got your back. All right.
Thank you. Same thing.
Yay. Well, thanks so much, Amazing Dave, for stopping by tonight. And, it's always great to see you. And, we appreciate you being here. So if y'all don't know, member of a valued and cherished member of our EduMatch family, Dr. Dave Schmidhouse. So thanks so much for coming through.
You got it.
Awesomeness. It's always great to see Dave.
It's true.
Yes, indeed. He is awesome.
I think that's a new hashtag. Awesome Dave, or what did you say? Awesome Dave.
I love it. Awesome, amazing, all the things.
Amazing Dave. There we go.
Yes, indeed. There's a story behind that. It's buried in the Tweet and Talk episode. So one day we'll have like a best of compilation, and that'll.
I can't wait.
Yes, indeed. All right. So going to our next question. So this is one. So what's the difference between balance and priorities?
I love this. So, it's really funny because I did Dave's podcast, and we were talking about it, and I was like, I don't know if you're familiar with Hope and Wade King, right? So I was saying, like, around the same time that I was like feeling all of these feelings with wanting to write the book and just feeling really like crazy overwhelmed and everything like that. Hope King was on Instagram, and she was talking about, because she has a little one who's just about a year younger than mine. And, she was just talking about like priorities. And I was like, priorities. Like, she's not trying to balance things. I'm using the word balance, but it's not right. Like, it's not right. I need to use the word priority because, and this is like I said, when I was on Dave's podcast, the reality is think about when you have a newborn, right? You want to balance work and you want to balance newborn. So if you've got these two, your newborn relies on you for like 100% of everything. Yeah. Your work, you have colleagues. So really, newborn takes more, right? And then work has to take less because you can't. Whereas if you prioritize, this is what I need to prioritize now, then you don't feel so off kilter, off balance, because the reality is you have people to support you when you can't balance. And at certain points, it will go up and down. And it will balance for like a split second, and then it will shift. Right. And so like, that's what it is you have to decide, like you either have to decide or the outside thing needs to decide for you. What is your priority or what are your priorities? And then that's what you have to pour into, and know that you can ask for help. Know that there will be help. Whether that's a partner, whether that's colleagues, whether that's friends, whether that's just being like, I'm just going to pay somebody to clean my house because I can't do that right now. Whatever it is, so that's really the difference is you get to determine your priorities, and it's not going to be balanced because that's just not how life works.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's fire right there. It's like that seesaw, right? Like, and then you might be in here for a split second, but then it's like, so yeah.
Different seasons of your life, you'll just up and down, and for a moment, things will be balanced, and it'll be like, well, this is really nice, and then it's not anymore, and you're like, okay, I got to figure it out somehow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of comments coming through. A lot of people can relate to what you're saying. Huge shout out to Mel in the background who is running, the comments and the banners and everything. So yeah,
Thanks, Melody.
a lot of people can relate. Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. So I know right now you have a reading for us that
Yeah.
you'll be doing. All right.
Yeah.
So we're excited
Thanks.
to hear it. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit of background. Like I was really kind of struggling with this because I didn't want to read one of my stories because my thing is very much is I know my name is on the cover, but like this is not my book. This is all of our books, right? And so I felt like it was selfish to read one of my stories, but I didn't want to read somebody else's story because it's like that's not mine. So what I decided to do was read a story that really resonated with me, and I felt like could really resonate with parents or folks who hope to be parents one of these days, because the teacher-parent struggle is huge, like that guilt. So this is called Our Story, and it's by Holly and Ashby King. So Ashby is a high school senior, and this was, keep in mind, written like 2 years ago. And she's the daughter of 2 educators. Her love of science, sparked by her parents, has led to her pursuit in a degree in science and a career serving others through medicine. After 22 years as a classroom teacher, Holly King serves as a digital instructional coach. Both have a love of the ocean and aquatic animals and spend their free time protecting the local sea turtle population in their hometown. Hashtag sharing my mom. Holly King. Even early in my educational career, I found myself never satisfied with whatever my current role was. If I was teaching one class, then I wanted to incorporate more rigor. I sought to lead additional clubs, serve on leadership committees, earn a master's degree, and coach varsity athletics in an effort to learn, grow, and lead. Each step required more time, which was a struggle as my husband was simultaneously pursuing a career in school administration. In our quest to gain experience and educational degrees to build our leadership portfolios, we struggled with work-life balance. Our girls sometimes spent more time at school than they did at home. They shared us with our jobs and the dozens of students that we served. I often wondered if I had made the right decisions about balance. Ashby King. You might think that as a high school senior, my only experience with education is through the lens of a student. However, my experience has been different. I am the daughter of 2 educators, a high school science teacher and a high school principal. Living with 2 educators meant that academics were always a top priority. The teacher's side of any situation was always considered, and missing school for silly reasons was never an option. But being a teacher's kid also has its perks. For example, I could retrieve a notebook if I left it in my locker. And I enjoyed unlimited tutoring time at my house since my parents both taught high school. That said, being the daughter of 2 heavily involved educators was not always easy. Growing up, my younger sister Briley and I attended the same K-12 school where my mom worked. You know, I could not have a mom that just taught. Nope. I had a mom that did hashtag all the things. She taught 2 different advanced placement subjects, biology and chemistry, as well as honors chemistry, served as the dean of her grade level and science department chair, which due to turnover in the accreditation process was more time consuming than expected, led 2 high school clubs, and coached 3 varsity teams. We lived at school. My mom's leadership role evolved over time. However, much of it happened when I was very young, so I have no memory of life before all of those responsibilities. In fact, it was normal for me to expect to stay after school until 5:30 p.m. while she coached and tidied her room. Running out to the school to prep labs on weekends or sharing our kitchen counter with mountains of lab reports was not unusual. In fact, helping her plan lessons and prep labs may have sparked my interest in pursuing a career in science. The biggest time commitment that my mom had outside of regular school hours was as a varsity cheer coach. with summer practices to prepare for, football season and competition seasons lasting until late February. It was a brutal few months. As little girls, my sister and I stayed after school and watched practice. The two of us were not immune to the late night ball games either. Friday night lights meant 15-hour days at school at best, or snoozing on the bus on an away game that was at least a 2-hour drive. One of my most vivid memories is juggling my swim practices with my mom's coaching responsibilities. She would dash out between games to pick me up from swim practice, only to return so that I could knock out homework on the floor in the gym, wet hair and smelling of chlorine, while the basketballs drummed in the background. In those moments, I learned the power of stealing moments and doing whatever it takes to get the job done. As I reflect on my early years, I realized that there was a strong expectation to share my mom with hundreds of other students. It never occurred to me that my life was different from that of other kids until I was much, much older. While I could easily look back with sadness over lost time with my mom, instead, I believe that sharing my mom with others played an integral part in my growth. My mom allowed me to help her set up labs, never tiring of my endless questions, and bringing advanced level coursework down to a level where I could understand the content. Years later, when I enrolled in advanced placement biology, I conquered it with ease and tutored others. I have no doubt that this was a direct result of my casual exposure to concepts at an early age, and this heavily contributed to my plan to pursue a career as a pharmacist. Watching my mom patiently work with students taught me how to help others. In the 3rd grade, I started a babysitting service at our school, where I watched the young students of faculty members who had after-school commitments. I helped with homework, played games, and chatted with students younger than me. Essentially, I was modeling what mom's students showed me every day. Even now, I work daily with struggling middle school students on their math skills simply because I enjoy it. From the outside, it might look like I shared my mom with hundreds of other students. However, in reflection, that was not true. Instead, she gave me the greatest gift, the gift of dozens of older pseudo-siblings who inspired me academically, athletically, and socially. Connecting with 3 teams of athletes every afternoon for months provided a plethora of babysitters and surrogate big sisters for my sister and me. We envied their academic achievement, aspirations, and style, reminding us that we needed to work equally hard to celebrate future college acceptances and scholarship offers. Most importantly, I watched my mom. She has enjoyed an incredible career where she thrived as an educator and as a mom. I watched her use every ounce of time efficiently and effectively, ensuring she was productive every moment so she could unplug with us at home. Even today, she continues to pursue certifications, advanced degrees, appointments to state boards, and promotions. With each milestone, she is teaching me that I do not have to choose between a career and a family. I can balance both, just like she did. Mom, your choice to give so much of your time and energy to others, which might have seemed off balance, paid dear dividends in the most beautiful, unexpected ways. Thanks, Mom, for the priceless gift.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yes, I love that. And I agree with what Joelle was saying, and then Jeff and Melody in the chat is saying that's beautiful. And oh my gosh, I love it so much. And it's just that is a priceless gift. Absolutely.
Right. So I think I know I was really worried when we moved here. And I was like, he's 1. I'm worried about ruining his life.
Oh.
Life is not always going to be like this. And then I read that story and I'm like, it really is not always going to be like this. And and yeah, it's about perspective, and it's about knowing like how to support your kids.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
yeah, see that. I saw Dave's comment about how we're all crying. I'm like,
yeah, right.
I'm trying to hold back myself. But yeah, that story really hits. It really, really hits.
Yes.
Whew. All right.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And this made me cry before I was pregnant. So like, these are not pregnancy tears.
Oh my God. I feel you so much. Oh man. All right. So ready for the next question?
Mhm.
I'm gonna lay another question on you. Okay. So what is your favorite strategy that you recommend to live a more balanced EDU life?
So really kind of going back to that whole balance versus priority,
Right, right.
you know, uh, not this year, not the beginning of this school year, but the beginning of last school year, I made the decision to leave a school, but like I wasn't in a classroom, but I was a coach, and I made the decision to leave a school to go join civil. And I did that because I needed more. I needed one. With COVID, I was at an absolute panic, putting Matthew in daycare. But I needed more time. I needed more. I needed to prioritize my family over my career. Right. I had gotten the license. I had gotten the degree for administration. I was like, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. Like, I'm looking for these kind of jobs, like coaching roles, leadership roles, like that sort of thing. And I was like, I can't do that right now. Like, I can't. It's not that professional goal cannot be my priority. I have to make it my family. So I shifted and I started looking for like those ed tech jobs and that sort of thing. And I found civil, and it's been just a ridiculous blessing. So I think my favorite strategy is really literally like, it's so hard, but you have to really internalize. You have to think about what is your priority. And then kind of, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen like magically. And you don't always get those choices, but if you know what your priority is and you work towards achieving that, then something is going to happen. Something is going to shift. And that is the best way, the only way I know, not an expert in any way, shape, or form, but to achieve like balance is to focus on your priorities.
I got you. I love that because everybody has, their own individual priorities. So everyone's is going to look different. So I absolutely love that. Sound advice right there. Okay, so now it's time for your next mystery guest. Come and knock on my door. Where are you? Knock, knock. Who's there?
They're not popping up. I don't know where they're at.
Yeah. Knock, knock.
There you go. Let's open the door. Who's our mystery guest?
It's me.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh man. Yes. Oh man. But I just have to reiterate just how happy and proud I am. To be part of this and to be part of your journey, and just such a powerful work that you put together. I am just so proud of you. Like, just yes, you are amazing, and this whole project is amazing. And
Melody got you or did you make that?
No, Melody made that. Thank you, Melody.
Surprise.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. We decided, I asked Dave if he would be a guest, and then I also asked Sarah, because one, it kind of runs EduMatch, but she's also like a contributor in the book, right? And so, we've talked about how Sarah's amazing. Like, you're just amazing. Like, you're just amazing. Like, you've got a heart of gold, and you just do everything for everybody. And I remember at one point asking you, how do you do it all? And you said, smoke and mirrors, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Smoke and mirrors. That's what it is. That's the secret. It's just
right. And yeah, exactly. And so as we've gotten to know each other, right, as our friendship has grown, like you just get to know somebody, right? And so you know that it's not smoke and mirrors. You know the decisions that you make. But that's the thing, is you're very private, but at the same time, you share so much of yourself with so many people. And because you are like that, I was like, can you be a guest? Because your story is kind of a big deal, because you're letting your guard down. Like, you're telling your story. You're letting people know in the book, like, who you are.
Yes.
You know, and why.
Yeah,
So
that's such an honor. Yeah.
would you it's hard to summarize, but like, would you just, why did you agree to tell part of your story for the book?
Yeah. Oh man. And I have to say, I'm like super honored that you asked me, because like I don't think I've ever been like a guest on one of these before. So this was like, I was just like, okay, cool, yeah. But yeah, and it's funny because when I wrote the chapter, I was in a very different place in my life. Like, a lot has changed since then. And now if you were to ask me what's the secret to success, I would say teamwork makes the dream work. But back then, we were just kind of starting out and everything. And since that time, I've met so many amazing people who are part of the EduMatch family, part of the EduMatch team, and it's really them that's the secret sauce. That would be that would be my 2021 answer. But yeah, no, but writing that chapter, I remember it was kind of the beginning of a change for me, because I used to say, I'm married to EduMatch. EduMatch is like, that's all my time, all my attention is going into EduMatch, and that's how it was for a while. But then, and really a lot of the busyness, I don't know why I'm doing air quotes, because it is busyness, but, but a lot of the stuff that I was doing to keep me busy, in many cases, were to distract me from feeling things, because I was kind of going through, I was going through a little bit of a tough time, as I wrote about in the book. We just had like an unexpected loss in the family, and I just didn't want to think about it. I was just like, yeah, let me pick this up, pick this up, pick this up, pick this up. But right around the time when I wrote the chapter, then I had things in my personal life started to kind of take shape. And someone very special to me came into my life, and you know from that point on, then it was a wrap. Well, it wasn't a wrap. I mean, obviously they're still like we're still doing EduMatch and stuff like that, but I mean, like, as far as my personal life goes, there was like a new chapter that had opened up, and I wrote the bulk of the chapter as it was opening. So that, and I came back and did like a little update for 2021. So yeah, so
So make sure you read Sarah's chapter.
yeah. But no, I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of it. Like, oh my gosh, this is just collaborating with you. Like, anytime I get to do that, I'm always in for that.
It's kind of fun. Our first collab was a drive to the airport.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Q, Nevada. That was awesome. That was super. Oh, and can I show them what you got me?
Oh yeah. Go for it.
Okay. All right. And I have to say, Erin got me this amazing gift, y'all. Look, check this out. Oh my gosh. When I saw this, I had no idea that this was coming. And I was just like, like, that was my reaction.
Like, how do you say thank you to somebody who's like helped you achieve your dream?
Oh my gosh. The feeling is absolutely mutual. Like, you are incredible. And we appreciate you so, so, so much.
No, I appreciate you. And I appreciate you opening yourself up and being vulnerable enough to share, to put your story, not everything, but your story in the book, so that people can see, like, here's the reality. Like, you can put your career 100% first, but things change.
Yeah.
And you have to make the decision. Do I continue to put my career first, or do I allow things to change? And I'm going to go out on a crazy limb and say you're happier.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, I really do appreciate that opportunity to share, and just looking back at it was just like, oh, this is, a nice, like, it's cool to see how things can change in such a short period of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I appreciate it.
I have one more question. So somebody today has been a whirlwind of social media, and I have been just completely like honored. It's just crazy to me. But the idea is this theme runs, but each story is different.
Yes.
So I'm curious, you've read all of the stories, your story.
Yes.
Was yours, did you read anybody else's where you were like, oh, that's exactly like mine? Or did you feel like yours was totally unique?
I felt like all of them were unique. Like there were some that had like themes that were similar, from story to story, but each of them had like its own flavor to it and its own sauce. And, I remember reading a bunch of them, like the first go around, the first version that you showed me. And then I read it and I was just like, oh yeah, I can relate to this. I can relate to this. I can relate to this. And then the second time I read it, I was just like, I can relate to this too now. And this. So, I mean, there's like so many common threads, but each person's story is so unique and just so beautiful. It's like a snowflake.
We got a snowflake book.
Oh gosh. That's hilarious. Oh no. Oh my gosh. You were cracking me up. We're gonna get to the final question of the evening before we do some giveaways for tonight. So all right, so the book is about education. So tell us, what's the significance of the rocks on the cover of the book?
So this is one of my favorite questions, and it's because I think it's hilarious. Like, here's the cover. Look at all these rocks, right? What does that mean? So there were a bunch of again, I went back to Melody, and it's just because like she was part of some of the conversations, and then she would come back. I love this about her. She would come back and she would be like, well, what are you thinking? What about this? And what about this? And why this? And why? Like, she's really good at kind of drawing it out to like get me to verbally process some of the things, right? Mm-hmm. So there were lots of different like iterations and whatnot. And I think at one point, there was scales, and there was like a mom juggling everything. And, there was like an ocean, like doing this, it's like waving, getting rid of things, And so it was just like, there were just so many ideas flying around in my brain. And I actually found this image on Pixabay, and it hit me because they're clearly balanced, mm-hmm. but the water is like bum rushing the rocks, and you can see them starting to topple over. And I was just like, this is what I feel right now. Right. This one is what I feel right now. And so I actually talked to Scott Nunes because he has graphic design experience. Like, that's his background. And he and I went, he and I went back and forth, and oh man, my laptop's gonna die. He and I went back and forth, and he, kind of helped me. And so what ended up happening is, I got the first one, and then I found the second one, and this one's kind of like a nod to my time. I'm from the desert, like, but I also really liked the fact that this one, while it's roughly balanced, it's just sitting there, like, just, it's not moving, but a little earthquake or something, it's gonna topple over. Can you plug it in for me down there? Thank you. Sorry. So you've got the two that are like balanced, but one is going to fall over and one is not, but it's very like close. And then you've got the ones on the bottom where they are just whether they haven't been stacked or whether they're falling over or whatever, they're waiting to be picked back up and put back together. And so that's my husband, Tony. Thanks, babe. Thank you. So, you've got like all of the different, like not all of the different, but 3 different like mental zones when you think about balance. Like it's falling. What's that word I'm trying to think of? Delicate, fragile. It's fragile.
There you go. Yes.
And it's gone.
Oh,
know? So, that's why I went to rocks, because of that. And then there was somebody else who posted on, Tony saves the day. Yes. Who posted like the actual meaning. And I don't remember. I saw the post on Instagram, and I was just like, well, that suits my purpose exactly what I wanted it to.
Yes.
So that's where the rocks came from.
Nice. I would have never known that. I'm so glad that question was up there and you broke it down for us, because I was just like, this is just really cool looking, but I didn't know like all the greater significance behind it. So that is just awesome. Thank you. Man. Yeah. So time has flown, but we're about to get to our final portion, where we give away a couple of books. So we have Melody in the background. So she is going to be scrolling through the comments, and there are tons of comments, by the way. So she will be scrolling through the comments, and then whenever you want her to stop scrolling, then you can just say stop, and she'll put the comment on the screen.
Stop.
All right, Joelle. Yay! Fantastic. All right, and I believe we have one more to give away.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah, spin the wheel.
Right. Stop.
Yeah,
and such a good comment too.
Nice comment. I didn't even see that as a kid.
Yes.
Dave. Oh, that is so sweet.
She is the best.
Yes.
You are the best.
Yes. All right. So Dave and Joelle, congratulations to y'all for winning a copy of Balancing the EDU Life. So
thank you.
Everybody, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight for Erin's launch. Definitely pick up this amazing book. You can get a discount at 10 or more books. You can just email the email address at the bottom of the screen, edumatchbooks@edumatchers.org. You can also find this book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, so many different places. The EduMatch website is on there too. So just check it out and get you a copy. I mean, seriously, this book will do, it will help you. Like Erin said, you'll be able to relate to some of the stories, or you'll be able to learn from the stories. It's just fantastic. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yay. And
thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, everybody. Just for like this, like I said, this is not my book. My name, I'm lucky enough to have my name on the cover, but it is really just, it's for everybody that added to it, everybody that draws from it, because it's a great therapy book. Like, I'm just telling you, like, I read it and I was like, oh, this is what I needed right now.
Yes, indeed. And again, you masterminded this. This is coming from your brain, friend. So definitely appreciate all the hard work that you put into this. Is a labor of love, and you're gonna have another labor of love in a few days.
Monday.
So we are all cheering for you and for the newest member of the Kiger household. So.
Thank you so much.
Oh yes, thank you for all you do, and thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you to Mel for all of the technical support in the background. Thank you again to Amazing Dave for popping on, and thank you to everybody for watching. So we're gonna go ahead and end the broadcast.
I think I froze.